Nay, one more 1,000 workers at the Marco Piemo and Omaya, your friend Romania, LGBTI. It is against our culture. And one so Nina and many more coming up and pay Yeno Eba Ababedeho and Como. Mamma Ben, I chain a Memana Crabba. Ben Margin.
Yaminia.
Now, and Pomo to say,
Yamia Dominia.
I don't pay my income for last week in the district there. Why I did?
I believe Yamiade.
There be our yard and a Nedy and a bros.
Now, headlines, even I'm here.
Headlines there.
I see also been passed day. And I say, Hanum almost a day. Choose female running mate from Ashanti region. Okay. Chronicle.
Yeah.
All right.
Chronicle that they buy. And I agree with them.
Okay. Then I'm revenue also been passed to say, okay.
Fremont Pare is fast rising. And becoming the favorite among Ghanaians. Yeni Ankasa Yaye street sample ewa share the majority of the voters, predominantly in the Ashanti region. A lot of people are mentioning her. Last Wednesday, so Yaye had two doctors. One ewa Bradford University, the other one ewa KN University. A research scientific one in the Upper West, in the Ashanti region, in the Volta region, and then Greater Accra region. And clearly, the NDC is leading the NPP in terms of opportunities. The NDC is hovering around 59%, almost 60%. NPP is, around somewhere 40-41%. And it's co-election, the monarch person will win the popular vote, especially when the NDC has equally been consistent by bringing in Professor Jane Nano Pokwajiman for the second consecutive time, towards that section. And again, clearly, per the 2021 population census, when him say Mados, we 10 regions out of the 16 in all the 10, dominate the population ahead of men. And in a very critical situation, money be bring so about my way more number. Na one more claims from Ashanti region, Omuguswa, one more Kontokano, presumably, how far or bad when you mistake because you want to reposition yourself and align very well. And to me, I agree with them to a far extent.
Yeah, media, the American say here. But I also somewhat agree with you. If the data supports.
Exactly, I'll give you a sample of that report. Now, what's in me every day, actually. Yeah. Right. And I've done a couple of works. You see, Ben, I have a little bit shock. So up to now, at the NPP, intimate corrected side. Dr. Bawumia does not have women around him. Now, quite problematic.
Yeah.
Yes. Because on say a man in the BBI who be the popular voter, a man. I have done an analysis on the fact that in 2021, Dr. Bawumia published presidential staffers, key positions in one office. 24 of them, a Miami Lope. Okay, a man who cried a Yemi no, but a civil servant, civil service commission, and a post and then call the office of the vice president.
Okay.
So what it means is that you are no craft free honor. Staffers a work by me office in our Baba company. And it's questionable. So it makes me ask the question, say, should he become president? What will be the portion of women? Akufo-Addo to a far extent has done well. John Mahama did well. But the data is surely clear. Say NDC, any John Mahama, offer more opportunities to women. And one year now I'm correct here. Going into the election, Udi Agrabedu Dokonoko. Say NDC show normally campaign and a ton crowd more. People will look at some of these things and vote. And I far agree with the Chronicles. So yeah.
That's positive. So, if the data supports her, if the party thinks that the partnership.
And Fremont Pareno air rising the Ashanti region because I think last 2 years or last year, Uko Kumasi race course, Kumasi Zoo no enclave ni mechi hodon baby a madi didwanyina. Ejakesi part to home a honyina ashi. Okay? And the women are saying that it had to take Fremont Pare to come and fix the place for them. Jamaica not yet. So you should get some of these things.
She's done a lot.
Exactly. The sympathy in the idea, no, if we are ever. Exactly.
Oh, that's positive. The modern mama more train, and I'm more. But I think that. I think the work can the data no support to her. If me abe actress na be able born one candidature.
Exactly.
In going forward.
Very well. What the next thing?
Me na you know so.
Baby I fine.
Oh, you want to be fine. Say the wow him. Say dia me nua kan. The train. I'm even surprised say ya clocked the first quarter of
the year.
Year na omunyi omo running mate because I remember say somewhere last year. And Okoshia Council of Elders and per omo constitution he's supposed to have selected a running mate by now. Into Okosreye say Council of Elders Emmanuel America cra na onfa Enyine running mate, and I think it's becoming too long. I think we are in the 4th month of 2024. I believe say the inconsistency on their part is becoming one too many. Meaning say ye Professor J na no poko ajimai, and I be albatross on them and a nightmare on them. Omupe Professor J na opoko ajimai. Anybody BNPP be within their quarters, say your bow or your bemao cannot be matched. Professor Jane.
Which one would you prefer, Obada Bema for the NPP, for equal platform sake?
No, for me, I am not the person to tell them, say, when you Oba, and now Omuni Bema. That one, me need that capacity.
Okay.
Almost they have the men, which include women. Until so one more tenacity. No more share circumstances as we speak as a country. No more analysis and research. Etiote towards Oba. Why not? Etiote towards Bemanswa. Why not? Yendi ye done say MPP. I am fully prepared. Say 2024 election. You can come about issues, i.e., jobs, economic hardship, infrastructure development, issues of taxes and Ghana for. And no name sema ye trying say MPP be ready. Now both parties launch your manifesto. Now you take your opportunity at talking about what we have for the people of Ghana, because this year election about past record.
Yeah.
And going forward,
what
we can do. Because you uyi ba omia fi na na danko akofa abemua enye ye into the 1992 constitution it say no president or political party can contest for an election without a running mate. Until it tells you say they are on one ticket. And in Mribiano, flag bearer bia yi obia. Osusu say, only share the same views, principles, and ideologies. Said the only beti mi akambo my den, etimi ebu o my no. But for the first time, I mean, who be that? To be frank with you, I stand to be corrected. Since 1992, this is the first time I say a sitting vice president. A person who fee ni own government mess. This is the first time. I stand to be corrected. Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Because I don't think say under late Rawlings, Mills ever did that. I don't think say under former President Kufuor, Ali Mahama ever did that. I don't think say under late Mills, John Mahama ever did that. So why now? Until it tells you so, Mankasa Jatumu say this particular by Atitia Pansam Abogana Fem. So the only option is a vice president in Beyin with you, but it doesn't work that way. Until you ever share about past record of John Mahama and Onu Alhaji Bawumia in the era of Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. Now you share the way forward. The issue of tribalism, for me, I have said it. So far, Mr. Speaker, polls and research Abanina say, even about the fact that Bawumia Muslims are. The Muslim communities doesn't even favor him. Mr. Global Info for there recently.
Yeah.
John Mahama is still ahead of Alhaji Bawumia when you go to the Zongos. And it tells you, set the negana, Yajuniko. You're on the lines of religion. And I am on the lines of tribe. And I am on the lines of friendship and relationship. You're on the lines of Obia over what it takes to move Ghana from one to 2 or 2 to 3. So that Ghana ni bi obeto something ato aba bia no will not end up saying say we regret so to aba, but obenya the full benefit of time or spending the koto aba. Ntinu the issue of religion, tribe, for me, I believe since 1992 and even the 1992 constitution doesn't speak about the fact that you to about on that line. Ntinu yeah ever ready. The last thing I can pen say you be launching a manifesto. Not probably.
What's the team of manifesto committee?
Oh,
when you mo campaign team.
Yeah, because you Maakye sa adiyemi no. Already Maakye say your campaign, your manifesto committee have always existed before now. Only that we don't believe say as I say ba bedwemu be ye hu dede say Kofi Yawadua eka ye manifesto committee. That is not the crux of the issue. Ya Professor Motene say manifesto ne ba. It is touching on relevant issues, sir. Ghana for person den or Moti. And my medical council also say, I believe strongly said the NDC, we revise more of your 2020 manifesto. Because in
manifesto.
Yeah, people's is still relevant. The 24-hour economy, it was captured in the 2020 manifesto. Just that time Angie Hinisa.
Attention.
No two ways about Nyakupon has time for everything. Internet, it has become the game changer. Ebasa yebe trainee youth on coding, how to read computer language, to be able to do apps, software and those things. I ebe create 1 million jobs. Now 2020 manifesto. So I think say you revising the 2020 manifesto. Na niema. As we speak, and relevant,
yeah.
We do away with it. They are relevant, big push is still relevant. In order to invest 10 million in infrastructure development, road, schools, hospital, it is still relevant. Because school structures are still important. And yes, Anka, 7 years on, Ghana still running double track in our SHS. Still, hospital is a problem. Still, acquiring a problem. The big push is still relevant. Nti ye dia enye relevant ni fimu they are relevant ni ya maintaining no. And I think that after 4 years no niema san ye den asesa they are new development we dey shame so ebeboa ebi ti say ebe yi bet tax efio ebi ti say ebe yi levy efio ebi ti say ye be reduce yen ministers to 60. As gracia will be a thing of the past. So I will make sure say the ye be draw final conclusion on the constitutional review committee ejumano. Because now most people are calling for a review of your 1992 constitution. So as we speak, it is relevant. Tina John Mahama said, "Obe, making sure say you man be back to it logical what conclusion." Nancy answer see, obe make sure say obe Women's Bank, purposely to help ye nuanom emma omo into entrepreneurship, business. The bank will gear towards supporting them financially. Now omotimi a grow because obaye year said you can when you develop a woman you develop a nation, when you develop a man it's like you are developing an individual. To show the Women's Bank until most of them are very relevant today. I hear the back until Mr. Speaker.
All right.
Yesterday train say as we speak the MPP award their way to opposition. All research so far indicates say they will lose the election. It doesn't mean say NDC yebetiada until the final whistle is blown. Say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is the next president of the Republic of Ghana. We are not relenting because you no one air dealing. If somebody can tell you say they will win on strategies and tells you say on find strategy in Tufema, yes Amia Uku Enkua, ne chere say omo plan B. Because all the research are not supporting their possible win. Okay. That plan B, we also have equally double of that plan B for them. We will win the next election.
All right, but that's Ben, Memra Ben. So Ben, I'm into your on this one now. I feel the transport sector issues, so.
The politics, I think that Madika Aka said, if a female candidate, all the research finders and a support to say female candidate, especially Mami Femo Parry and our partner Baumia Ebe, I think that will be a best option for Alaji Baumia. The Yanka data, and I think you've given a lot of indications that data ni be support to this woman's candidature say or partner Alhaji Aliyu Mahmoud Bawumia Ebeboa. I think omo hwe na omo nye ne ntem because chenso a na hardring because cha na ntokwane anxiety ni obi dwen say de be mame yemfa mame kind of say like that backbiting no bickering this and money nyina no hardring the mesre omo nye ne ntem na enyi sa ni ma nyina mfiri ho then it gives them that focus. Okay. To do their campaign on issues, and I think that I'm glad that these days issues are more relevant in our campaign, even though yenya 1 or 2 HSB binum cancer be a home emphata, but these days, and I think that your campaign are very more issue based, and I met both parties, and so about to say these days, most of them are also engaging sector stakeholders. All right, we won't say we are share guta. The next time we also share guta. Don't say we are share some civil society space. The next time we also share collating views for national development. That be amikase abre woman more participatory way of developing inclusiveness. Nti also tie obia na ochre senior oni omo betima dinkita ho so ba. And I think both parties are doing well. Omunyina engage ATT all these parties, and then the emi hu is a be diama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Kakra because he's in government. And for that matter, most of the things are also Besisano. If you're in government, at least you just have to tell your president that if you are convinced, say, policy out the beboa, you just have to tell your president that I think I'm very convinced that anyway. Sometimes and also but I believe that maybe they may have a strategy of they were convincing or more electors Ghanaians. Minya.
Your bad transport way so now. A day ago,
yeah,
I saw this somewhere discussed. Our generation is so busy trying to prove that women can do everything men can do. Women are losing the unique qualities that set us apart. The God-given femininity and unique way our Creator designed us. Women weren't created to do everything a man can do. Women were created to do everything a man cannot do. Unknown. The lioness does not try to be the lion. She embraces her role as the lioness. She is powerful, strong, and nurturing. She does not mistake her meekness for weakness. The world needs more kind, compassionate, humble, faithful, persevering, confident, fierce, bold, pure, and tender-hearted women. Be one of them. And this message, it means a lot. But what the young koyeni?
What's the young koyeni? But you see, I think that Gabi. I used to believe that he's that Western liberal. He has a liberal thought on a lot of things. But some of these things are conservative ideas. Imbibing in us. Sociologically, African, your role for women and role for men, right? Regardless of school, bekono roles be hoa upempo a madia, roles be so hoa upempo a madia. For example, procreation, a war, obane also fafro upempo nature. Yes, that's how we are. But in Neno. Yeah, money be see on person omo they say kura omo person omo ye mema so person omo ye ma. So we are not ye nature no, ye true sense of us no ira. And I think he's calling all of us to go back to who we were or who we are as individuals to partner ourselves for national development. And I also think that say oba say ye ka oba no na no so nche say ne diane aduane no. You see women that be ameka say in this rise sense no oba ni nyansa se bema. Yeah, and every research I think I read somewhere that they say they think or reason using their left brain, one of the brains, and that brain they use is very powerful compared to May Madie. So one of them person channel. Indeed, they are very, very smart people, right? And in their smartness, no me complementing Mema Emma Bibia SCA. So in anywhere you hear whether in politics, everywhere, household, chieftaincy, Babian, we need to partner ourselves for national development. We cannot perform in each other's roles. Obianyane DNA and fire in Anko Yanim. Minia, Makanga Biasam, Namiba Fuels.
Yes, Obeba Fuel, so but Mamene Samuel Amwa, Antiway, and Free Hotel. We're not a part of the GPLT communication team. Samuel Tueka, good morning, that's saying.
Morning, Mr. Speaker. Me we pronounce well.
Eradia do men so be hoye. Na confusion ya ebe efri hefa. Mo drivers li be frase say wo mo tutu ahenti ade din.
Mr. Speaker, me minchia wati for na minchia obeja for oni omochia. De wo nyina ne say no kre ye hunu say driver for ni bi na pina shase a omoje ebo foforo. Na say ebo foforo mo ji na ni nyina no gina can say maybe by January more years and here to 20% ministry no babon things nyabotre na yem fan share ye fasoda a ye try propose akoto o table so fit January na ye di hu abobu a bi sadre a na yem fan ma conclusion e be si say ye hunu say fuel price no so asan page no me no ka say petrol en number 13 cedis 90 pesos per liter. Now this is only number 14 cedis 74 pesos per liter. And no airport trigger ashenkafu na me no ka say before then no ye ni ministry no ekoshia ukuada no edit to omanim say sabre no for price no so atan page ni mu biom na ye propose and so adam table so for all this why na ma ashenkafu no so no it's like they are running out of patience because adwuma omo ye no e ka no mgu so a omo bo intini nhyiamu yi ko so ani ade na anko na wie em ye sent to nhyiamu no de share ukuada e be si e be san kwakoshia biom na fe ya hye na ye take decision na ye sigina ye ni etimi ehu percentage a ye tum dia ba abontene ye ni ehu se there bi ashankafo ni pina ashase a eji da ebo efufure entino ye gusua na ye ni ashankafo no kasa unim se sa bre nso Ghana ha no ashankafo ku ni ye doso papa ye dawa poni dikra sonso omundom ku bia omunso namu entino tapacha ashen so mkuta nso no individual na di omusika ato ehyen a omunso di ye omu business na mu akoba ne se bibi a ye wo man mu bia na ye de mra ne nhihye na ye nti na akoye nsabre bia no ne aba abonti ne omu abekasa se ebia ntumum nuru so omunya abotre nkosi sei anati sei enti na no na ani na ni na mu a GPS ye de krata aba abonti ye ne kira ashenkafo ne se nkomunya abotre na ukuada ye meeting na ne ministry be kwakohia no ye be firi mu aba no na afi ye de ato omadum na ye nyina ya no akombe nkrom ye hu ntumu a ye de eba abonten eno na em se de confusion kakra ya ba nso eguso a ye ne ashenkafo ne kasa na ye timi akamu situation ne down.
Yes, but I propose say montum 20%. Mojitum sir.
Pacho brebium
Abai propose say montum 20%. Mojitum sir.
O say abai propose say montum 20%.
Yes, to the best of our knowledge, that is what we are receiving.
Oh well, I'm say eno de ye nhia ma ye koshia eno. I'm say bibi sam piemu em free mu ambase aban ama e kwan say ye ntum 20%. Eno de bibi sam piem but nim ba bia some information e free de ni nya enya ta nhiem na mum dia minim ne say ye koshia eno ya nsi ena ye sentu share e ye wuku ada be.
Yes, but some of the proposals in the call, yeah, and then there's been counter proposals and last time I know Kasa, you know, also more share somewhere around 30%, right?
Yes, stand here.
Yes, and 30%, you know, I presume say more the proposal no at to buying him through the ministry. And no, at the end I buying air car for home.
Yekoshia, you know, I'm say mobo huna yekobobo, you know, abaying the can say ye 30 na Canada. I'm say it's at the higher side as they see it. Yes, ye chire mu ni enti aye ba ne sa ye che hu da wira ankosi enti wo meeting na na ba yan sisu dia say oh mo first 20 na mo de ba no mu nso anu sa na mo mfa nko da bi nye sa na kosi ye e mo de kosi ya ne say ye ntu meeting ni hye da na wukwa da nsa me hye biom anti ye sigina ye.
Very well. Enti ye betwen na wukwa da mo meeting no aba enti Saturday no which is ochina no fair no into muni nyama, right?
Sabia yen hihye ete no e was abia ye betuma said ye nyina nim o manja na ha no the leadership of GPRTU leadership of GRTCC and transport ministry in Asia. Na the joint communicate the about bonting abekere timemu for say atumu say le mumsa enya masu die na just officially no enya ade antumu bi sa about bonting as I'm speaking now.
Very well. Sami aropa me da so bibia de be say din komo.
Le so me da as Mr. Speaker nyamin sure.
Nyamin sure won so enti Samuel Amwa ana yeni na din komo no Deputy Communication Director Edema GPRTU. Mami nche Ben from on the floor.
I think that, you see, a buying pay problem money, and some of these things are buying and pay problem money. Why don't you liberalize the transport sector? Why don't you allow? I didn't think I was all doing Jim. You see, there's America no. Many they are doing so. Kase GPRTU into more because the transport industry has over 20 transport unions.
Yeah.
Right. And transport union bia e woni operations and na determine the fares and the drivers. And I said car vehicle owners. Nti say ebinum abase omo mutumu 20%. GPRTU has no locus to say omonteso anamo monteso. It is their union. It is up to the commuter no and a passenger no. So we go for GPRTU no into need you 20% and also work for committed and work for true union driver and work for consent drivers.
Yeah.
Ntinia menuka say no GPRTU has no overall mandate on all transport unions.
Okay.
Nti ono betima come on the side. Some ye side in two, but there na other side no motum. Tiger betimatum, cooperative betimatum. Adeba kwambese me can say transport union and as transport ministry what they can do in any of the political manifestos.
Yeah.
And he say ombe regularize Ghana cooperative transport. They have association GTRC or something like that. GRTC. Yes, GRTCC. Coordinating council. Also more regularize no more formal as authority. So that ono be regulate the industry. Now you liberalize the industry no. Say industry no transport union. So doing say o price say na obeje na man for before homfo na ban entwe ne ho mfiri mu because abribia ban de ne ho kaka kamu die e de asem e de how kra na bra ban because e basa na obitimi de politics dey say o time na o yetu mu sei ana yantu mu sei but who you ho mfiri mu get a regulator, liberalize the system, make sure that there's a fair pricing in the system, there is that standard in the system. Driver phone say ne was some dressy car and say ne was say you keep that standard in the system and then let them determine their prices. If near make say because of say a buying aje price na bonu hu ntino say obi kura hu say me de 86 ne kokuma say beboa the moment I buy say or tuma ko 20% no sa ni pano so be increase no right say ne obi dwen so the 50 cedis e ko kuma say beboa the moment I buy say 20% no nipa no be ka say me so increase in 20%. I think we need to MPP they say it's a private led whatever capital party and I say na mokano no property owning which is private led and capital based party. Say a private led and capital based, I think the transport sector needs to be liberalized. Get a regulator and let the transport company determine their own prices, but they should be fair. And determination of prices no ebinum krabe no fofofo because neno cars need also krum unions need also this obedience or tin union na say ebe mananya customers in term eno beboa no now me ba fuel so minia you see
Kessben 92.9
16th April fuel bo be san cost especially petrol and petrol bet me akobe 6% or even more by April 16th April. Now, your problem with fuel will chrome hanamono.
Yeah.
A no cresse a drama so a born cost in recent times. A no cresse say ye see no a depreciating recently, and especially ye boy you won't crumano adi baku di nyakese a CD depreciation. It has a lot of impact, more than 2% impact on pricing locally. In the abribia city ni be depreciate no Mr. Speaker my price no boy deal kroma and at any point in time no a buying also my steady ni stable so what must steady na stable the obi to me aye ne say nka quantity no some I think last year or last 2 years na they are buying is say auction cheaper dollars the ma BDC for no every for no more craft go different man no. In April 2022 for example ebra na Russia Ukraine war na Asia ase no ebo no ye din we dwaman so a seed no so depreciate no. That time na Ministry of Finance any Bank of Ghana omoko benkrom no more supply BDC for about 80% of even more sometimes even 85% of their import cover. And because of say no more supply 85% of their import cover no Bank of Ghana for no any BDC for no ajetum say ombeye omo computation de unya free Bank of Ghana ho na wanya wafa de unya free banks ho interbank and as bia unya free black market wo de your computation na wa set wow dollar rate or the charge products no. Okay. Minia from that time 85% ne abeno ka say no Bank of Ghana make allocation only 19% of their import cover. Indeed, say no, they get a lot of
reserves.
I don't know whether reserve nessa and I say Bank of Ghana they changing the policy direction towards the BDCs. Indeed, I must say no BDC for no do na $8, but beyond $8 no interbank and a bank. And as a bank run no nya no ako omomujina kwan ho black market. And I also him say black market dollar ne boarding kakra compare so benya ne bank. Indeed, because of that ne no ka say no BDC for no use almost 13 Ghana cedis 65 pesos to $1 and over the set price. And no crown Emma from go bo din okroma. It is already this window say ya. Nanke ni kwan say diesel bo edin. Nanke ni kwan say diesel ebo no enyantumu because the drama so no na diesel bo no so ati by about 0.88% on the international market. A stable cedi even shows that enke we say diesel bo no esote. But diesel bo no e jump from 14 Ghana cedis 49 pesos to 14 Ghana cedis 74 pesos because locally no locally no you see no are depreciating and because they were not getting enough cedis to do that. Now why you see the need depreciate?
What has become of the gold for oil?
Debia Mekase, I have not seen any data that actually shows the direct impact of gold for oil on petroleum prices. I have not. The entire maker say me who said data and say one weekly biano MPA equal to the price indicators on daily basis. Some of the papers, me who paper you cry a publisher ma the prices here. And since the introduction of gold for oil, no week biani daily biano MPA projected these prices on their website and also on print media and sometimes even some of these radio and then televised media. MPA projected and mihu baby bia obi akokase MPA projection we the amano or ton ni fuel below this projection because these projections are international market prices. And a MPA the ba maintain say bust and as maintain say go energy akase because of say gold for oil intino yeah product no ne bofu you sell it below what MPA has projected on the print media and as MPA projected on the FNC, which means that each window no all the BDCs are using international market prices to set the price of their ex-refining prices locally. Another argument I met and it say you say gold for oil no I'm a see now is stable.
Yeah.
And also no
was a Bank of Ghana so there more reserves.
Yes, and also no was a data back. Wow, there must be that data to tell us the actual magnitude of changer. Gold for oil no I'm a see now stable. Anambwa.
Exactly.
But there has not been any data. I just hear people that I'm a buono. But steady stability, as I always say, depends on a lot of factors. Steady stability, no, and one factor. Because in this country, when the Bank of Ghana even increased, right, the Bank of Ghana increased policy rate to somewhere 30%. And that increment alone can stabilize the cedi. Because it curtails people withdrawing their currency or investment, that dollar investment, to other countries to invest. Inti eno kra no etimi ma seed ni stable. Apart from that, our export say ebase bia ye export no dominate against importer eno kra so timi seed ni stable. Aside that no so aban say bia ne dollar coupon bi ana debt bi e wo so tua say aban restructure sa dollar na eno so timi seed ni stable. So gold for oil no as at now aban to mean can the impact which percentage change gold for oil no amasid nice stable. But in the cry the gold for oil is still there, but city is depreciating. So are they telling us say nye gold for oil na nka city no ne ebeko be 14 and 15 na? Is that what they are telling us? So I've always said that I have not seen any direct impact of gold for oil on your fuel pricing locally. Right? I've not seen it. Bia na indirectly na bia obi akwaji product na banti no wabetono abofo ama ebi ma koto dia maybe eno minim, but on databases no I've not seen anything like that.
Very well. But I say mesa ba so be ben ma men call ahomane so emra na mene ora Emmanuel Ohene Yaboa eni enkomo ono eye general secretary edema the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council GTLCC. Mr. Ohene Otimeka, good morning. Kessben Suni.
Good morning, Mina to say.
Eradi adom me ho ye pa na wonso
Adomo.
Yo. Na yenim se transport unions ahodo no ne tichiru eye GPLTU. Womone moni aban nyina no asinkonwa amodi nkomo about transport fares no the increment. But pempen so be na akwakodru sesei.
Yo Mina medase. Sene wonim leader no. Transport fare no. Yebetumu a Kessben 92.9 Asidankwa enema eko anfane dia so transport fares baby was here no na enka prior to lorry fare mo na petrol no 23 cedi 45 pesos per liter no say etimi duru ho na ko 10 percentage points above anfane etimi edifas say beto transport fare mo enru evivi bebia ba inu no bi say so pass wide nti enfa enko to transport fare mo so pass wide in by what percentage so will be entimi anfama nti the last time I share and any minister share I can say I am called one thing financial consultant now on steady the trend percentage of transport fare no spare parts and cost for the last time I to lorry fare mono now I find to who say percentage now cost no the operational component no eba boa CBT me so at lorry fare mo and say nyina say be at lorry fare. If you know what you money kushia ya share on say nyina enko nipa na e dey sa I never want somebody to lorry fare mo because only en Nigeria somewhere say man na omoye nemo akoy nipa bi etrimpo ne agibi omo no mo price omo dey on share some dey for there any two amount for some more follow for that diabolic because esa emphasis we more man nipa na esa dodo na any union bi omo nam na omo kasa radio mo media mo kan omo kasa radio na mo so be so omo sebi constituency bi omo ejino mo na ti me say mamo yes so na yemfa ne she pana de bi yusu no fanya djuma ye no betimi aboa mbe nyina etimi ema ye ho ha na asodwe aboma no
yo na mami misa we perimeters ben na ya mo hwe ho ansana mo decide say full no baby akwakodru ana indicators no baby akodru no yempeja lorry fare ne buo mu kakra
me na make us am say what we am money am kind of so fit say na American say
yeah
say e bi be to anywhere dem ye be to lorry fare mo no ye ne say ye say en run ye to lorry fare mo e be to apetu bo say ye gina so we na 20 cities and ye gina so the to lorry fare mo a say be sam ba say be to lorry fare no bi wa na if 20 cities no akọ another level if I say about 10% more than the previous level na one.
Okay.
What do I say?
Yes.
I could be 22 cities. I didn't know more. I'm sorry, I can say about 2 movie. The sa kind of so about 20 cities no. About from be 18 and 17, which about 10 percentage points na you are. Say then you still or friend so mark on front of so a high almost. Sabrin they could use a bread 2 lorry film the last time, 23 per liter. And now, your tomb, a sound drop by be do by 11 cities, a bread do 15 cities. And they share the kind of say, you're man to the Mujuma. So, full numbers for do 15 cities, yeah. And the moment so at least 10%. Now, you're going to follow so no one of the Viana, or more and high Mokaka. You can't mind your Juma. I want to say, and Mujina so Gina, Mojina, business in Omoji. In the Petro Nukoya could do 11 cities are as I have phone. No, Mujina went for Lamunia, and yet a right, Sadiano, Chef and Bio, your Modia. In the same, the Omo has a full enough a Cosra, and Cosro move to a Cosro. Say a cost of baby a wire 2 lorry film. It is a bit out to see a 2 lorry film. Now just at 23 no, Akko 10% more. And some bit a consider lorry fare increase based on fuel. I've been making
yes, but so was here, pa.
Good. It's a sanity and holiday. So what's me got 2 lorry film because fuel walk cost. Now we need a walker. You try a bit chilly pemusa, Nipa is a wada, doing an onion. It is and Shannon no. Spare parts some kind and I'll be kind.
I see. And the last time that Mutumo was when?
Was last year, I think October 2022, thereabout. Yes.
Okay. And from that time, Monoa, Nafu no over around 11, 12.
No, it was 23.
Yeah.
It was 23 the last time we increased.
No, I'm even talking about per liter. No, so the waka. Liters living about now in a gallon. Okay.
The main gallon. 23 cedi per liter.
Exactly.
Yes. 23 cedi per liter.
And the bar form, yes, exactly.
And the status bar form to do 11 cedi per liter. What I say?
Yes, exactly.
And the sun to move on more places, you know. When for an anchor say, travel and on a farmer. Share also fire. I say, I want to try. Well, yes, I find it here. The most nibwide, Montessoa, any problem, yes, about for Montessoa, any problem. Name Moon say, one for now, we take care of the components now, because as well as our what I make an observation.
Yes, but you are here, pa.
Good. And they say, one for no buy, one farmer, a cost, first of our cost with their on Omedia. We
don't do it that way. But but now they are also arguing, say, I mean, car no a private operators there. Obi and car now what car and the man is on fire juma. And you know, so who's a fool work or stroke a crabia or expect to say and near man so a best because about is our sales near the no a hard way. How do we deal with these problems?
Obanyo de want to say more near Tennessee. So we car now won't even build road. I'll be fast there. So I can say only a buying a wood tracker. You're not the ministry, but bidding commodity. It's as a ministry, I can be a square amount. Terminal age room in a ministry and a buy there. A quiet number so I buy the full like a look at my buy the video and the badu. It is a whole year you man say what we are you want to say what you say, what all can you know. Who can so be dictating your pay space in my buying as if I can there. You are making a big mistake. About stick room.
And baby, I'm on commodity, could do, but then Chemo Modia Momuina and so almost someone Tiasi or home.
Baby, I give you footage in Bijisa into no way no more. By the heck, I say, you can't actually assemblies on my maternity in our say. Almost not terminals near Modia. Into say, Ubis only Merasso. Sunny. And the I'm will be on from Basel. The way my chrono and some because of the pack be interested. We will allow that.
Now, finally, Mujuma Dia Mudi as GRTCC, no, Obibeka said it is not backed by law. And the Moye Yinano by convention, ANTSA, and they are crocron kakra, and a munina mutimideba at a conclusion. Modrum Pempenswa, Mobe Pese, and Kiabel legitimize more operations. Not Yayemra at the atem Mujuma Dia. She said, Mubet me obey authority to have the power to do some of the things I am where you mean.
You're not there. I think it's long overdue. But I'm grabbing so on my road safety phone, this our regulation. I show myself. Minim how we me catch baby out of that law to make us that internal. Before say any money we ain't trying on common answer. That should be an event me pass no. Name on the and say road safety was our authority of the regulatory operators mean. Road safety funds almost from normal say sanction and be human. Because obi dimi ntoka en sequence only union BM onye under any onye affiliated to recognize now onye na agency obey any obey now man no enyi ntumsa I don't think it's fair.
Before I go back to no na ye ne Samuel Amoa kasa o se mo hye ukuada ebe mo be se ahia se metie nkomodie mu a that means ukuada ebe no esese mo si ginaye ewo ho. Very well. Mame and now I say, Ura Hene, Yaboa. Yamin Council, and T. Ohene Yaboa, a General Secretary at the GRTCC, the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, and Yanino at the end. Common. Ben, just 1 minute on that, and I'm in Godwin.
Intimidate me Cassasino, may can't fool Nassam. You see, there's another tenor, MP Suya. Abayin fa na ninko and omonso no fuel ni etumu no na omonso de margins be air can fuel no right. For example, in July 2022 year July 2022 year na margin be of fuel no so every no Unified Petroleum Price Fund 2022 July year na sa margin is 20 pesos. Right? What did you hear about kind? Or say, omu increase fair no abra diesel price it drew 23 Ghana cedis somewhere in November 2022.
Yeah.
Until nano say MPA also increase UPPF that time nenko also increasing based on that diesel price increment. But in there from 20 pesos per liter no in July 2022 no MPA decide UPPF no ako 85 pesos per liter.
What is a contributing factor to fuel na rising?
Yes. Nti next they have to also blame MPA because ono the 60 pesos, 65 pesos and abeka fuel price. And this money doesn't even go to central government. And you see call Minister of Finance say enfanye omani yi. E sika call mo bottom MPA. Now the second margin almost side the aka ho no. A primary distribution margin.
Okay.
Sa margin we July 2022 year you. Na sa margin is 7 pesos per liter. MPA the sa margin no equal 26 pesos per liter net. And these are all transport cost. UPPF is a transport cost. Primary distribution margin a transport cost. And this GRTCC say only when we nyadwen say on pedi mo increase on transport cost. An affair.
As some tiny attention is to MPA.
I didn't also MPA. I didn't know MPA and also Tiwa. I buy no air no. Emma o increasing this transport cost on the product. And no crama product no wedding. Now lastly, there's another margin. I have the boss margin. Boss margin 2021 na 3 pesos per liter. Na minuka say 2021 to 2024 in a space of 3 years. Boss margin they got 12 pesos. And this money, like, to be frank with you, so UPPF, primary distribution margin, boss margin, fuel market margin are just sika. Sa institutions we NP any boss, edge no much eddy. Because it doesn't even go to central government. Now I can say, echo central government or the young puntu jumabi. Ama bia senior ohini abokai omudi si terminals omudi ye akwan omudi ye bibi nanka ye Ghana for benefit. These are just monies that goes to these institutions. They sit there, they share the money, chop at the expense of the Ghanaians. Intermediate mechanism say minim say mami from Opari chief of OTA SAR station we. Me say the president he's listening to this particular program and I'll be so. They need to critically look at MPA well because your fuel price na air cost running in ano. MPA has something to do about it.
Okay. Very well, that's 33 after 8. A high Kessben 92.9. Matching Jumedie SO and the Mame Emra Gordon Mahama so na mintie one so Gordon. My Emra so na mintie.
Yes, speaker.
Yes.
I mean, Santia with you for no phone now. You see, Mpempensua Ghana yedu no. The only option aka me no one same is just to change the MPP government. Let's begin. Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo ba omi aban enni bibi papa biya ma oman Ghana. What they have for us and ye dey ame no we experiencing. Because uhwe be bia oman ne do na. This is not the time as I say me no edi fangu ntumu bo enkomo. This is not the time I say me no di ashenka a road transport fair buoso. But rather nanka this is the time I say minu would the fact say and the fang go boy then aba fem. Ashenka force or more transport fair so. Now mad the ordinary Ghanaian no why then ahin high. Because today virtually every sector of this economy has collapsed. And they almost adi biya MPP di omonsa beka biya no adi no ajidiegu and the adi biya boa na and the old those time now turn that 2016 and ne se ne boa ne and double ya na triple say you increasing by 50% ya now you increasing by 100 ebi wa 150 ebi wa 200%. So the question that ordinary Ghanaian biya bisa ne say, so when the boss here are buying the share, obviously this is not, or this was not the promise. Said the Anaminia air cannon. The NDC has called on a buying say. There was some of the taxes are a good fuel so. It is long overdue. I say ye official. Not ordinary driver no. No who high no. Se fango bo ekofemwa. Virtually prices of fuel, prices of transport either say ebe stabilize and ebe kofem. Se no so stabilize and say ekofemwa. It triggers down to prices of food and services. Into the chain effect of increment of fuel no, a dire on the livelihood of every ordinary Ghanaian. Do you get me? Yeah. Into the year call say there was some of the taxes a good fan go so. As I say buy any share na o review. The so teso no onte so. The so yifi ho no onyifi ho. And so the amenia esankan no. There are some of the prices Abina has over increased them. Which and yes a call the central government chest. But a MPA and a boss and a edgy those taxes no to their coffers. The question said, they no more this as can hear them. Obviously, say yes or more check edia. Then by now they should be able to tell us the impact of those levies so far. But so who can MPA? Ebe you be say MPA a certain private or be individual company be no. A same abai aswaya MPP Appiah Kubi Odano Mustafa Hamid, former minister of Zongo ministry, and Edano. Ona kanibi osunye say Nkrofo we are spoiling Ghana yet check Ghana sika. That same Mustafa Hamid and no see obi and just sensitive to the plight of Ghanaians no. And let's Mustafa Hamid na MPP Appiah say MPA boss no. Ono na ne onwene mene wo ade ti ade senina no. Those taxes no or increasing without thinking say your ordinary Ghanaians today they cannot buy food. Omunye ejuma nye because the unemployment rate had moved from 8.4% to 14.7%. Under John Mahama, not less than 800 Ghanaians youth and any ejuma nye. And then more than 1.8 million Ghanaians youth and any ejuma nye. It is how Mustafa Hamid na kanibi na olambasti government be say on mini ni manfo huntina na all to sa niema ne so no enne ya de wo kotena ho you are even the worst because fango bo a oji ye no today if you have not doubled it odi yempo koya ko do 20 something Ghana cedis 23 Ghana cedi somewhere 2022 intini eye the same aban inti minia calling on aban say won fa omani hwe MPA no for me it's a wrong call. The reason is that eye aban na mu nipa na ti MPA ho and onti mi nya ade bia eye contrary to aban no ne nhihye eye aban no nhihye a omudi ama no and all this one or increases those in niema no
and you person just aban nim ho bi
oba who told you say aban any movie aban nim ho bi the government is aware of it and eye aban ni nhihye na Mustafa Hamid ediso because me speaker here emri bia ye be vote ama party bia obepa o say koneko di institution we ano and koneko kura di bia we no they tell you what they want you to go and do your mouth terms of reference one say we be na your mo exchange when they are president no
yeah
that way no in it they are terms of reference anameboa a kire butainti a ye do ye dey ekoho and what you need to do and what you are not supposed to do. Inti MP adia omoye no e adia Alhaji Baomi ya aware because no ye the head of the economic management team. Inti say na yentimi ento fango na say a driver for say they want to increase the price. Speaker, do you blame the driver? Because Ghana Shenkafo are very sensitive. If some person omo to transport fares wa nka baby e da no enye ho na ese da they have been lenient to this government because the rate of increase since our ban way back na bengwa no so till now juxtaposed with price of transporter omumpo omaboa Ghana for nti mo bia amfa so bo embo driver ni bia because they have accommodated this government for long.
I see. And
because omo dwene me ne wo ordinary Ghanaians nitina emre bia ban betum bia no that's not the time they also increase. Atom bia e furu won. Ansa na obeti so meka se den omo to so. Obi ese ye de so bo ne bono ne Alhaji Baomi oye the head of the economic management team. Mampeni na nado danko Akufo-Addo. Mustafa Hamid. And obi bia owo under the energy sector. They are the reason why we are at where we are today. And everything in this country is not working. Bibi anya ejuma. Inti na mribi anu say Alhaji Baomi jina simpie so. No kasa. Insama bebre bisa ne say. So abaye no onka ho ana. So enye onu no ye mampeni abedi echire. So enye onu na ehwe the economic management team so ana. And you see agrobe so a efianopa. Inti say owa de papa bi mi ema Ghana for. He should exhibit it as a vice president. Because Ghana for to something to Obama John Mahama in 2012 after the demise of late Mills. And because na John Mahama abon who modern as a vice president. Out of the inflation a single digit for more than 30 months. Do you get me? Now agriculture was growing well. Employment was doing well. We were employing. And the man Ghana photo something to Obama Excellency John Dramani Mahama. It is a we are vice president. You are not immune from either the goodness of your government or the bad of it. Because we are vice a road to determine say the Ghana share unsa a substantive ubetimi abon ho modi ana se untimi bon ho modi inti say as mate mpo and now you have this abysmal performance worst performance in Ghana's history kasankwa A to Z promises as if say unka ban no wa then what is the guarantee say uye mate ni mpo nu wentimi andarete o driver say on fa passengers enko jojo na say odi yan ka konya accident What is the guarantee say the car and share on side you can drive when you don't have license? Because mate you don't have license. Into the speaker, media Mikasa. I speak as a social democrat because NDC there a honey and fapping. Ya juni dia oni bie ho. Ya juni mobrofu ho. Enunti na mra ye be fi abenwa ne so no. You make sure say so kita $1 o de gi 4 cedi 20 pesos. Enumpo no boy enso bo ka kire yen say it was the worst performance. And the same $1 no o de gi 13 Ghana cedis. Baby mpo 14 Ghana cedis. Emre ndisi fi abemu na ko bobosia ewo yen banks a na interest rate and 25%. And the interest rate etwemu 30%. And the NDC time, now youth unemployment around 14%. And the youth unemployment and 35%. The general unemployment rate under NDC now 8.7%. And the general unemployment now 14.7%. And NDC fear being now inflation under NDC and I think 15.4%. Just 3 days ago, I jumped 25.8%. And the Koya could do 54%. Me so performance tracker are recording this as an achievement. So we moving inflation from 54% to 23% when it is your own record. When they call honum. And I offer an saying. And I ne ejina saying. Intinu, Mr. Speaker, made manu sini for me. My last point is that Alhaji Bawumia Yobia. So catch us shesroa, shefem, and I'm still talking about energy sector. The anti-America sane say, Mubaka I say, Emra omu launch this gold for oil policy. We spoke about it. Ebisa a lot of questions. Yebisa a lot of details. Yebisa a lot of data, quantities. But MPP as usual, etugumu say the gold for oil ebeboa niema mienu one to stabilize our cedi so that depreciation will not be high. Ghana cedi nu betimi akwetia dollar no. Not two, amafango boa eden abafem. These are the basic two reasons in here. Omudi the policy of gold for oil aba. 2 or 3 years after that implementation, Yembra back and bisa simple question on these same two reasons. And yen dollar to CD are stabilizing. The answer is no. 2, and the fango bo e was through. Chen said ya yede ma won. And as a fango bo en yedin chen said ya yede ma won. Obviously the answer is say fangu bo akosoro sin sadia yede ma won. And if these two questions no, then any good researcher, scientific research, in his conclusion will conclude say gold for oil no na ye 419. Ambebwa bibia is just a way sa buying betimi awia me no gold. So I'm siphony mean we in gold.
No, that is a serious allegation.
Yes.
You cannot
because yet no, you see.
God will him say won't mean.
No, you see, when you cross the T's and dot the I's as a researcher, and no any you draw conclusion because auto gold from ordinary gold dealers minus through PMMC. Now say ebeboa bibi na ntimi mboa ye dia. The what it means is that if I say motor gold now, you don't use it for the right purpose.
All right.
And if you don't use it for the right purpose, that means you are diverting it. And almost diverted to where? Into Mr. Speaker, so cross the T now dot to the higher. There is no other conclusion about their conclusion. That gold for oil.
No tilapia farms, no. But your fish premise, no, and 1 year. I don't think I don't pay Pacho. Fidico, Naje. What premise is the enough for friend, and no Emma fish, no. Now, what will be a Cassium, what 20 years ago? your layer premise and we are the man cook one more a frasia air tone cosiano the fire money and said ya beya wabubenia kasiemo at tone cosiana kasiemo pa and a pen patch of you can need a wood here Kokona a Freddy tone cosiano you should lay a premise on a pafra womuniani na ebeboa womuye ama womunyi ewo kwan shonko well a premise no eboa and kokwa yenye womo abedi womo nam no patch the obe nyina no and say oh the broiler premise no be fra womuni and the pig premise no so sa ye the man preko na o the afra na boa womo ama womo anyi ye anyi wa pomodin mo na anope wunya toxin binder ni bia aya afafra womuni and no why na ebeyi unwanted materials bia e the free womo system ni mo e the amount na emwa no aye healthy enough said ye beya onso betimi enye sika ego boto anope from 10244 260-190 0244-260-190 0242-769698 0242-769698 na wani fidiko ni nkomo and our friend 0303-9585-83 0303-9585-83 na wani wamo eni nkomo fidiko ewo amrehia tobu to yibi dodo wa main road na so eho ana obehu fidiko poultry and animal feed center for adope pacho yusu omuni ani no yibi abebo awo mo afa
the man to me na edu kwabochi.
Oh yeah.
The man to me na edu kwabochi.
As I would in the baho.
Until first week of May.
I hope that.
We ni baba butu. Oba pinso. Until ebesre adofun na de. Afasha eba dwumezi bi kan obi wa akwa afasha bi a woni ma de name yande hu kofa wo so keke. But the afasha full of activities. There is a hunting part of it. Hunt.
That's right.
And you are going to hunt for a live deer, not the kind of name mukeke. Aside the deba of chiefs that were going to happen and all that. And you know, yabaka wasemi. Now, Mr. Speaker,
yes.
Adibi wa ade ehwene.
Idea.
Ade yimpayeta say there. Say your positioner. The respect people give to us.
Yeah.
Doors people open for us. It's just because of the position, but not we the person.
Okay.
Into saying your position in that man found one in your day, nobody is equal to you. Into mbuyimpa. Because Ochina, you will be out of that position and you realize you are just an ordinary person. Nana Santi Bedi too. And a pay me chain. Out of respect. Some of the letters that he writes, he should understand that power is transient. And he needs to know that he is talking to people who are serving this country. Look at the letter he wrote to Parliament. Abaye Assam Obaye issue, a big issue for all of us to discuss. Have you seen the letter he wrote to the Senate boss?
Yeah.
Sabi papa no why bibia one country na ye hu de papa no why bibi. But papa no fascinating. We've seen his output.
Yeah, changes.
And look at the letter we write to Obidi Papa. And this can dent the man's credibility forever. Beyond this, such a letter written to him by his former employer, it will encourage him them more. Some of the things that are happening, sometimes, Mujuma Mentasi, on Chebia 2016, now Muruba Benbichi, hey, you're incompetent, hey, or ye, hey, are they in tons? And a payasora tons, so sima, hey, and the Motamasu. You are just few months to elections. Ghana folk complain about specific things, and you are not paying attention to it, and you are giving them cheeky answers and responses. What is this? Mr. Speaker, like I sometimes make you want mentasi. Found go bone some semi. And last week I listened. Last week Ben Baha. Yeah. There, the addition of certain prizes. Nyame bi a wodo toto to nyame bi do no. Nkyeremu papa biara enyi wo. Eba ikada NPA wante, wonate. Wenyim so. Won baka wo hwe, wo twe abeya opposition. Ansa no obi akaka kire, oh, na NPA finance wona yade, na Mustafa yade, na nkwedo yedem. How did they be America? What opposition? Then they will start finding faults. But the issues now, you are not saying it. Look at the kind of defense you are mounting for the scholarship secretariat issues. And we always want to fight within there. Oh yeah, Yambo Bibi Mumbai. There are serious issues that we need to deal with it. Let's deal with it once and for all. The Yambo are not man on for the tampinfra. Mr. Speaker, may I pay my mental fee a Tuesday a IPAC meeting. Yeah. Now, Electoral Commission will vindicate some of us. Just last year, district registration for the district level elections. Yeah. The limited registration exercise. You're complaining there instead of the EC only designating their district offices for registration exercise. Yeah. Even Yemubi at the court. We saw the drama that happened. Our man hearing date after the registration exercise. Yeah. The last IPAC meeting, Electoral Commission Academy, they've identified about 800 difficult to reach areas. 800
difficult to reach.
Last one where you see 268 offices of the EC. Yeah, 61. I mean the district at 261. No.
Yeah, the district are 200 and something.
I think it was 267 and now they've created one, so it makes it 268. So those offices now were designated for the registration exercise.
So they use the constituencies.
Inti ya for 200 mpunasi sa mo identify 800 obo mpena yanan. Quadruple. Oyenye na yeda identify you. In one kasa within, we identify 800. 800 wakane ohawatri and ahawatri. Or too much the worry about 800. In my we are complaining then so that some of them we are on the ground and we also know some of the difficult to reach areas so that we can help. But within themselves, 800, which includes 25 public universities. Mekai, last time we were saying that some of the public universities they should open registration centers there. Senior high schools, mobile school won't travel far because Winneba, the last election, Mukotu Winneba secondary school students are watching a queue more, what register. Obis waging a the day before no ben what's machine I say, so they had to go and come back the following day. In the meeting as Mikada Mubu about their world trip beyond their district offices. And I pay me when they were designated 288 registration centers.
For the upcoming registration?
Yes. So
still now won't be maintaining offices there now.
Offices in the that's number one. But this, if I'm looking at it, then it means is the 25 public universities plus the district offices. That is what is making 288. Then it means the difficult to reach areas 800 or can. They would yes. So what it means is that because I remember them saying that they will be moving, so they will have a mobile team that will be moving around. So that will not be designated as a registration area. So let's come there for 3 days to capture the people who are here and move to another area within the same district or anything. So because I don't want gazette the places. Yeah. So I'm sure they are going to gazette these 288. And then the difficult to reach areas now were identified beyond the 288, there will be mobile teams that will be doing the registration. So what's the website? You'll be someone for the list.
Can't it also be classified as centers? Are they not centers?
No, not necessarily. Because if you're not going to stay there, then you can't classify that as a center. Because as a center, it should be there for the whole period of registration. Yeah. You understand?
So I saying said we mu be permanent sentence.
Yes, for the throughout the period.
Okay.
Of 27th May, 7th May to 27th May.
To we mu 288, they will not move.
They will not move.
We will have an extra sentence that they will be moving.
They will be moving.
Which will be temporary.
Yes.
For 13 days.
I don't know how do the parties monitor it.
But you still have.
So the list, according to them, the list is online. We could check. We have my website. There we could check those things because that's what we asked. Because the parties per law are supposed to be there to monitor. So they said that they are going to share with us. We even complained there. Sometimes, ABI, you decide to spend 3 days at a particular place. But the third day, there's still a backlog. So you want to extend. How does the parties hear that information? So they said, well, those things will be dealt with the parties at the various local places. So it will be done with, to be dealt with it. So, the district offices were 263 offices.
Yeah, 263 with the 25 public universities.
Okay.
All right. Marina, my member Ben should have been on the performance tracker, and I think so. John Dramani Mahama, so any guta Asia within the week, and then Dr. Bawumia said LGBT, and idea of so. Ben, my intro for 10 minutes. Now, member of Moakaso.
Anyhow, I think that Dr. Bawumia say also LGBT so. Okay, LGBT. Me, I don't even want to call it. The media are more misleading. Okay, bill, yeah. Human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill, yeah, my pass here. Mr. Ankonam empese obe assented to the bill because ne offer see na ne baby adwen say so assented to the bill then so be breno. My friend Mr. Ankonam, because if you look at the party Mr. Ankonam belongs to, party no support to this bill. Or any parliamentarians in parliament almost support to this particular bill. Ohwe na bedi achire ono na bedi achire ogini di nra ono so akasa se o support this particular bill. Ohwe the opposition almost support bill. Ohwe ya hemfo ya hemfo akese omo okrum ha obi bia support bill. Aje Mr. Ankonam ko na so no on support bill. And I think it is hard times obehu say the delay in assenting to this bill no edinson so kese ebre the communities make up communities are omo a o dream say o protect your no. I think he's doing the service to them. You see, Mr. Speaker, ye kroma eti unim say nkrofo a yesusu o yentim say omo ye gay lesbians no, this particular law is the best law to protect them. It's going to give them full protection. And the better Mr. Ankonam signs this particular bill into law, no, the better for these communities. Hey, last 2 years, yeti kroma, ene say abrantie bi yesusu se oyebia e wa Ashanti region hoba bi. Me hu video no. Na yesusu se oyebia no, bura na amanfo bo no. Na amanfo e bo no, po. Because yesusu se oyesa sumasi we. Na no mete ahemfo enka efiri bo no. Na ahemfo ye omwo bo no enso e kase. Se omampanyi ansan mra yi a omo ahemfo na ankasa be hya ase ahye omo mra e wo mantem. And I only say ahemfo so hye mra ebia na amfa ye general mra no so, because wan hye mra no kra na ye chiw so ye bia e brobam amanfo bo. So this particular bill, human sexual rights bill we and family values we, is the best bill that Ghana has passed to protect minority groups, including LGBT for ya ekamwasemi. So I don't know, minim the entire Mr. Ankonam empeso be assent to this bill. And if he doesn't assent to this bill, he doesn't pass into law, he's just doing the service to this group of peoples in Ghana. because they say no, these people no say ye share mo a anka bia mra yi nti no ye bechi nipa no na ko police station na mra ni nadi. There's no any prejudicial beatings and killings and judgments bi ana bia e beka. Mra no kaso oye bia na mra no e de na ko twere baabi. And ada bia me kase amanfo say oh uko prisoner without evidence, uko prisoner dodo ho na e de no kokora ho no ba ko ye ne mo minua. Sometimes it's better being in prison than being a public that ridicules you and makes you or psychology like you are nobody and even beats you. A yes so be ko prison say dan so betina amantemu amanfo be bo anaso be yo basa basa, right? Nti mene omampanya be di akire e ya adwen so ono so aba abeka so support this particular bill, ne religion ne Islam, Christianity ya manye ni ya mamre doesn't support or don't support these activities, and for that matter in building a very harmonious society, a very orderly society no ye bill we enebe ma ako omo ye liberals no almost omo different mindsets no. I think they are doing the service to minority communities in Ghana, and the better they understand this bill say be protect LGBT for no, they good for them. Minya yenye no free ho madika ka say omampanyini dada His Excellency John Dramani Mahama 4 minutes here mani aji senior omo carry omo campaign because in progressive development about inclusivity, and inclusivity also stems from listening to all stakeholders involved in the path of development of a country. Guta a stakeholder almost omoka your development part no. This wakoti omo no ma illustrate omo challenges, omo list omo challenges omo face. Aka ono no se obe balance omo challenges no any the moving forward of my Ghana. Now I say na obey obetumi asituate omo challenges no into a better Ghana for all of us, and not only for Guta people. And our momo hu dia ono so oba obeye amomo. I think that is the best way for all of us. I've seen the vice president so ekoshi omo so omo eka omo nema bibre, especially ye taxes in Ghana. E di omo nya kese. And these taxes no, I'm glad say both parties, the vice president and his excellency the former president, a proposal solution to these huge taxes are either importations so kroma. Inti eboa ema at least yenya a platform to listen to stakeholders and propose solutions to them. But afutu am say ye shi omo no eno nkyere say ye be over promise or pledge. You will say you're very cautious in our pledges. Why she or more be a promo vote into no work or pledge broswa e be oba na want to me anya na no so cross and work with. So you will say manage your pledge no, and any pledge you be making no, I will say a very reasonable to the development of Ghana and not only to the development of Guta, because obetima your interest no na be bro of Ghana interest so. So one Indeed, I'm glad say ye emiti obi bia ye emiti na ya proposal say ne be ya sa nneema yi ebeboa. My problem lastly is with electoral commission. Me madika ka say ne centralize registration no emwa electors. E basa asa ye mu Ghana for. E na abiri bia no ye pese Ghana ni bre ansa na wanya voter ID card. Wahu ye pese Ghana ni no ebre, because why should ne say we target almost 1,500,000 Ghanaians on a register? Now what limit registration to only or district offices? Charlie, a very a bema a hard dream, because unkronki to be a war. I was so much, and you don't even pay their transportation, right? Untia the transportation man on one didn't see keba on one didn't be an obabi didi. I think that we should make election very easier for the electorate. And we should make it closer, registration very closer to the electorate, because say anyane sa and ebinum, and especially these days there's voter party. Obi beka say na election you cry you to cry na and sisanhwe adentina me moka enko ba binko register. I think the EC must take the plight of Ghanaians in its policy formulation and consideration in terms of registration. Your problem that be at the American way you chroma kese pani a problem is most of your institutional heads omun resonate with masses. Like omun ni tema e de madodo. Omun ni tema e de madodo. And because also omun ni tema e de madodo ntino, omun take policy sa policy no omun take, it doesn't benefit most of the masses. It benefits few because most of them have not even lived a real life before. Most of them have not seen that hardship before. And most of them have not traveled miles to assess government intervention bi ana policy bi. Inti Mr. ECG EC Electoral Commission Mr. one. And I don't want to single individual. It's an institution. Omo policy bi ombe take no, sa policy no e was say Ghanaian friendly. Okay. And it benefits the electoral the electorate. That's me.
But I say, my member Godwin Mahama, so that Mintiel, Godwin Mamintiel.
Mr. Speaker, I'll try and use my time very well so that I can make a lot of.
You have 10 minutes.
Yes. You see, on Alhaji Bawumia pronouncement, say, Okasatia LGBT, no, Mamin Gina will feed the Kessie away so. And country Ghana phone na say, Monsini who the Okano only GDA or the Okanim. Share your election year. And in Ribiano, if you want to assess somebody, Ubeshe ni panel past. Now they are assessing the present and the future. 2016, Alhaji Bawumia kruya kachere yense. Oye Muslimi ni into about or make sure say yebeti Muslim development Zongos and Development Ministry. Omuba yo omutiwie ye no. Many people didn't have trust in it. Okachire yen said the obakachire wo say sa ministry ni yebe collapse ni bia no. Sa nipa no boa. And the sa ministry na we fa. Ti sa nipa na no owo gidie wo Muslimi sum. A opese yeti a whole ministry. E de boa Muslims for no. When timi am protect sa ministry no. And that ministry has collapsed. Koshe omo trackam. Uko under Zongo development omatro 11 toilets. So since omoti Zongo development no, omudi see only 11 toilets. And upon click on it to see the exact places where the toilets are. And crampo Papa we are catch and say Ghana is not going to experience asphaltic road again, but concrete road in 2016. Ono aka kire yen say Ghana kolebia ko school benya 1 chocolate a day na wedi. Aka kire yen say Ghana ye be ma yen sky train. You see wakika niema bebre ya Ghana fo ahwe so ato abama the MPP proud to 2016 election. Abatro mre asan edubiom. Inti wasamba biom ene ne tricks. Inti washa ase ke kan niema osusu say Ghana fo person mo ye den omote. The entire maker say Alhaji Bawumia enye different from Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo Aban. And political party be a leader believe in the principles and ideology of the party. It is a MPP said ya minu aka no enye for say oba ni oba beda ne bema beda. Ade no mo peso mo twen maye to abama obi biom. Ansa na ombe science abe no na ye dia bo ya mamre ne ya mane ho ban because aye MPP ne wa ban mu ene ana meboa aye MPP ana nado ene ye president Bawumia na ye the vice. This a party ni nhihye ne mramu no omu tiatia sa nyamana sam ni mudia ade no omu twen se Ghana fonsan to abama won biom before they will implement their ideologies. Until your election time who say in Sembi saying a Ghana for person muti because a Christopher Ekasetia Muslims for ekasetia minua no omugu nsan so ye den ekasetia nti se yam force baomia mananto na no tuo nso anka se meso me kasetia dia Ghanaians will come after the party. But naturally no alaji baomia enje sa de ni ndi o believe say mayen tiatia nkrofo right eso enye sa dia dia Ghana for kan say oye vice onye different from Nanado Aban on kantire Nanado say unya agidie wo mimu nti na wo fa me ma me no wo run president for 3 terms nti me ka say utie sign the bill no on the uncle kan say Nanado an fa on be kantire Ghana for nyina say I said it me tu ni for na why den wenti anti den no Ghana ni bia mbo na asem ntungu because there are a lot of issues what can Ghana for gina so ato abama na and no ankasa dane na no. Do you get me? That is 1. 2, on omo tracker way 2020 omo launch delivery tracker now more than 50% of omo supposed project in your toilet, and I think that is the same thing omo repeat. Aside so omo repeat a lot of toilet no, because a tracker that tracks from 2017. This our toilet now no masaya den e die gugu so. Eno ye 1. 2. Aside toilet no so most of information omo dey ato no are factually inaccurate. Are inaccurate and may take you through one by one. Time in you may few. 1. Most of comparison o my during omo time and a time of John Mahama. But surprisingly no about energy no about inflation omo compare one omo time to omo time because omo say John Mahama time no better than the ane yejinemu. John Mahama inflation na 15.4% and the inflation ye 25.8%. Omo no mo de yenko 54.1%. Into omo e ka kire yen tracker ni mu say because omo de 51.4% aba 25.8 in omo bon modern. The question is ofa no we fa 15.4. So this cannot be an achievement. 1. 2, uko energy omo say omo energy access 88.75%. Into omo the 5.5% and account. So we are average for the past because we are up to 2020. That means the average will be year be omo the 0.9% and account in terms of access to electricity. But omo refuse to say omo try and baby NDC so ye 5 year. NDC 2008 na access to electricity 60.5%. You be fear ben one so 2016. Now you move it to 83.2%. Into NDC you dey 22.7% and account. Uya average year be na NDC dey 2.8% and account. Into MPP achievement in terms of access to electricity is still not better than John Mahama's own because John Mahama mills now FBI no you dey 2.8% access na there account. Omo afibi omo the 0.9 and account. And you 2. 3. How can a government tout an achievement say banking sector now here 9 billion now they are surviving no? And then they are telling us say because omo timidi 25.3 billion Ghana cedi and a collapse in banks man then krofo nye aduma nye no. They are calling this an achievement. This cannot be termed as an achievement because now you hear only 9 billion. My banks nejina brane. Now what you sue more than 400% of same money. And your good banks now any achievement. The next one Zongo development. Almost my 11 toilets since established Zongo Development Fund. Oko track and say umia and trao say toilets na waha with no pictorial evidence. Umia so they call a new interface. It tells you say that Zongo adewe and no quarry. You find impossible no quarry mpo. 8 years. Zongo Development Fund. 11 toilets. And I'm multimedia and you call this an achievement? No.
I can't 1 minute.
No problem. The next one is so omobobo hospitals like Somenya, Bupe, Swala, Tuna, Kabala, Talon, and a lot of hospitals are John Mahama hospitals and Yomo hospitals. So they stole a lot of achievement of John Mahama at their two on track and him. There are a lot employment say NCC employment NCC so uko baby to say Pusiga almost mercy hospital. That hospital actually almost mercy school. That school no uko almost painted their ball so donated by Action Aid. Uko honoma honum track and emfa. It is a waste of taxpayers' money. Unless someone spend 2 million Ghana cedi on the app, they must account for that app. My last point, let me demand AC on electoral commission. Mas Ghana phone now say Oliver Twist will always ask for more. Last election you saw more than 38 polling stations and award the entire country. Stop us all register people throughout the whole country. Even 800 polling stations is woefully inadequate compared to 38 polling stations. Yeah, what your best one they should add on. Now my last point and say Mesre Ghana Nibia say on the 7th May next month electoral commission be bie and krata no actually churudin minim say MPP ediye ni na nwambo but it's better late than never. There is a visionary leader John Mahama promising better. Yentu something ko yenko churo yendin and let's vote against this government because that is the only option we have in order to rescue the country from where Alhaji Bawumia and the MPP Eddie Ghana akakudu.
But that's it. Citizen, family point I am.
So speaker pay for Mfanche. There what a toilet. So toilet. If you are by one of the signature projects or your toilet app, mobile buying. See, you can the toilet facility. Performance tracker. I think there is innovative. The Abanbe decided to buy a performance tracker. Why?
But your own
No, no. If it's there still, why add on to it? So, I think for me, it's good. There why a performance tracker to let Ghanaians go there and verify some of the projects are undertake. Mr. Speaker, beside that, even those who can read and write, how many so far have gone there to verify some of the things that have been put there? How many? You see, when you start recreating and creating certain departments, it starts there, more overlapping, you cause problems. Mr. Speaker, your governance system, watch it in such a way that if all the different departments are working very well, in some of these things, in can pay better and toilet. Because if the district assemblies or municipal assemblies are functioning well, these are things people who are closer to the people. It is our information van is chrome. Now we announce there, Ponkwechir, our Winiba assembly and our government, a BBC, a 25-seater toilet, mama. Obiahim. In there, a better the book or website there, Simpa, a 25-seater toilet. I mean, so even when we had visible projects like a whole airport, we complained. Terminal 3, 2016, we complained. Now counter toilet. Airports, we complained. Now counter toilet. A whole market, Kotokraba market, we saw it. KJT market, we saw it. I don't cry a na toilet. For me, it is good for them. I think the one of my work criteria, cash kakraba. We blame among, so it's good. But I think that there are so much more. The system that we have, let's ensure the system works. Now, on decentralize some of these communication, it is when it becomes closer to the free SHS. When you did free SHS, it's closer to everybody. So they feel it and they know it, so they can attest to it. But when you decide to be putting projects where you road a question verify, you can't even verify it. Because what do you want me to verify? The fact that you put in a picture there does not mean that it is actually there. Munkwa, how can I verify when we know what you people have done before? So for me, I think those things needs to be said. Dr. Baumia on ne stands on LGBTQ issues. Ebe, Doc, Mobo Abadu. Nembum tibe ye na trend that way. Mr. Speaker, yeah. I'm a Mr. Speaker, be so. I'm a maybe so. I'm a Ben Mikeda Ben Bisan the last time. I think Godwin to be the question there. What is his stance on this LGBTQ thing? What is his stance? Actually, my gun of bisa last minute here. Mr. Speaker, undo.
Yeah, he was waiting for the right.
Undo 2 days, obey you. Because Dr. Baumia akko churches. Dr. Timothy Baumia wako churches. Recently, or year so watch up with them. Or didn't I'm the original wedding day, man, a warrior. Because for me, I don't think that was symbolic enough. Holding your wife's hand in front of a pulpit to the extent that your wife was so uncomfortable. It's not what Ghanaians wanted to hear. Ghanaians pewo samaka one or some that on the issues you've been to churches, you've getting the opportunity to speak. Actually, and you see that is something that this government does. In simple way, they know it. To them, President Akufo-Addo, what is his stance? President Akufo-Addo has said his stance before.
Kessben 92.9.
But you see, it trend. You let people feel certain into car actually on gaining the momentum that is supposed to gain. But I'm so happy that at the end of the day we declare a stance, and I think
the concerns coming is we declare catch-all president nonsense.
It's a clear and strong one in terms of one country and the president today. I think that what he has done it also exposes the president once again. Because Dr. Baumia has said so many things. Ochede, Assembly of can be a president for Yejuma.
Okay.
Why can't you maybe also by you leave your butchum?
Yeah.
In Yama government, what they are, but also be butchum. On your be on the bay you. On any government, what the bay. That tells us there. Is either he's being disingenuous, another he's not been given the opportunity to be heard and do the things that he's supposed to do. If I follow Dr. Baumia, I would ask all of us the one bomb. Advocate for the office of the vice president to be scrubbed out. If what is going on, I think the office of the vice president is useless. But at the same time that
in the absence of the president,
no, speaker, say speaker about my act. That's all. Because after all.
You are saying so because of how.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if it's based on what he's saying and doing, then I think it is irrelevant. But you see, the same time we are saying that office is irrelevant, that is the same time we are saying we are having the best vice president ever.
That is the question.
So then I'm not able to measure it up. Because this is the time you've done so many things in terms of you say that you've done this, you've done that. But at the same vein, you are saying you have not been allowed and given opportunity to say your mind on critical things. When you were the wizard they brought to deal with that particular area. Ghana, we so say that we've had independence. But economic independence we do not have. But you diagnose these issues in opposition and profit solutions. Now you are not being given free hand. Maybe that independence one farmer. Instead of the GCPP, neighbor provided the economic independence of Ghana through domestication.
Very well,